Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on your SmackDown spoilers, WWE main event spoilers, also TNA. Well, TNA has a new champion, Drew Galloway. You'll find out tomorrow in the spoilers. Okay, for that. Well, it actually in the spoiler, it can be in the results. Well, happy birthday goes to Iron Sheik. His birthday was on the 15th. On the 16th, the former tag team champion Mark Canterbury, Henry O'Godwin, turned 52 years old, while former WWF star Kenny Dykstra, aka Kenny Doan, turned 30. Former WCW star Steve Armstrong, who was also back in WWE as a referee, turned 51. And also former WWE developmental talent Brett DiBiase turned 28. WWE taped the following matches for NXT. Zack Ryder and Mojo Rawley, the Hype Brothers versus Angelo Dawkins and Kenneth Crawford. Emma with Dana Brooke versus Deonna Purrazzo. Tommaso Ciampa versus Jesse Sorensen. NXT Women's Champion Bayley and Asuka versus Eva Marie and Nia Jax. American Alpha Tag Team versus the Vaudevillains in a #1 contenders match. The Hype Brothers in a dark match or whatever for the results defeated the Enhancement Team. Well, the Enhancement Team was Angelo Dawkins and Kenneth Crawford. Emma defeated Deonna Purrazzo. Tommaso Ciampa defeated Jesse Sorensen. Bayley and Asuka defeated Nia Jax and Eva Marie. After the match, Bayley versus Asuka for the women's NXT Championship was announced for TakeOver in Dallas. Chad Gable and Jason Jordan defeated the Vaudevillains. That's Alpha, the American Alpha Tag Team. And that was the tag team that I was talking about by Kurt Angle reforming his tag team. And they defeated the Vaudevillains to become the new #1 contenders to the NXT Tag Team titles. Titus O'Neil will be appearing in studio on the Mike Calta show tomorrow, being Thursday morning at 8 p.m. The show airs at on 102.5 The Bone in Tampa, Florida, or online at theboneonline.com. So go there. Shane McMahon tweeted the following regarding his botched promo from Raw while in the ring with The Undertaker and Vince McMahon. On Twitter at Shane McMahon, "You're going to hit me, I'm going to miss. I think I need to rethink this strategy. Hashtag promo problems. Hashtag he's 7 more terrifying up close." Talking about Undertaker. ESPN running a March Madness tournament challenge in its following video with The Miz, with WWE superstars and divas, such as The Miz I was just talking about. Fans can enter their bracket technology skills against The Miz, Luke Harper, Brie Bella, and others. Again, you can go to The Miz on the promo from the link. Hall of Fame Jerry the King Lawler defeated Sean xpac Waltman at this link here. You can see it. I think it's in its entirety. In a halftime at Friday's Memphis Grizzlies NBA game. Scott Hall was also at ringside with Waltman for the match representing the NWO. That took place in a courtside ring as part of the Grizzlies Wrestling Night, which also saw appearances by legendary Memphis announcers Lance Russell and Dave Brown, as well as Jimmy the South Hart. Fans also received a free Grizzlies Lucha mask when they entered the arena. The Grizzlies have several videos from the segment on their website as well. And you can go to the link, NBA.com. Rapper and noted pro wrestling fan Whale indicated on Twitter that he's working on a song with NXT superstar Enzo Amore. Dolph Ziggler often makes political tweets to some of the Fox News programs, and it looks like he has landed him his first Fox TV appearance. Ziggler will appear on Fox business program Kennedy with former MTV VJ Kennedy on March 29th episode at 8 p.m. the week before WrestleMania. Oh, that's Eastern Standard Time. Exclusive clip time. Here's link. Heel Ziggler ups the action movie ante with Countdown. With Kane and with Ziggler in it. Also, some other. I'll give you more. Another link later on in this video. WWE noted on Sunday that Becky Lynch was apparently hosting an art show in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania at the Metropolis Collective Arts Art Gallery. She was joined by the Dudley Boys and Tyler Breeze, and it turns out the group was filming for the second season of Swerve for the WWE Network. Neville suffered a broken ankle and broke a shin bone as the injury on a baseball slide confirmed during a Raw match with Chris Jericho from Pittsburgh. The finish of the match had to be improvised due to the injury. Neville underwent more tests in Orlando at the Performance Center on Monday night, and WWE's Dr. Chris Amann reports that he will not need surgery. Neville is expected to be back in 2 to 3 months, so he will likely miss WrestleMania, as a man told WWE's website. Neville had some repeat testing done in Orlando today on Tuesday, included x-rays and the CAT scan of his ankle. Upon further review, it has been determined that surgical repair of the ankle would not be necessary. Instead, he will be treated non-operatively with a cast and crutches. The estimated return for this type of fracture is usually 2 to 3 months. While Jericho took control and told referee Charles Robinson that they were ending the match early before he rolled Neville up, Robinson did as he was supposed to and called the match like a shoot, stopping the pin when he apparently saw one of Neville's shoulders up. Jericho then jumped up, yelled to Robinson that Neville was hurt, and shoved him. Robinson then called for the disqualification and the belt. Apparently, the animated argument we then saw between Jericho and Robinson was a shoot. Brian Alvarez from Wrestling Observer Live that it was said to be very awkward in the ring, but everything cooled down and seemed better when they got backstage. Jericho also improvised his post-match promo on AJ Styles that led to Styles coming down and hitting the phenomenal forearm, which now what's being called until they change it. Anything can happen in WWE. Speaking of Dolph Ziggler's movie, Countdown, here's a link for it. Lionsgate unlocked the trailer for Countdown. The WWE Studios film featuring Dolph Ziggler, Kane in prominent roles likely was filmed during a live event or of some sort for the movie, and the movie will be released on Blu-ray, DVD, and digital HD on April 5th. So the movie comes out on that date. As the Ascension was in the trailer, New Day was in the trailer. Some other people were in the trailer. You have to look at it closely to see who they were. It's described as this electrifying thriller is directed by John Stockwell from Into the Blue movie and written by Richard Waite from the Equalizer movie. When a madman kidnaps a young boy and rigs him with explosives, Ray, Ziggler's part, haunted by the loss of his young son, defies his captain, Kane, and takes matters into his own hands. Now he must beat the clock to stop a psychopath and save an innocent child. Also in the movie is none other than in a backstage segment, Rusev. WWE posted a video of Curtis Axel, Bo Dallas, Ryback, and Dolph Ziggler using the wildly popular face swap apps. Everyone is saying Ryback looks like Randy Orton, then switched with Ziggler. Go to that link for that. Titus O'Neil noted on Twitter that he's in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, for a much-deserved family vacation this week. More news on Titus O'Neil on this video. I noted how Shane McMahon has been working with Tommy Dreamer in the ring last week to get ready for The Undertaker at WrestleMania 32. Well, Dreamer wrote on Twitter on Tuesday, "Trust me, Shane McMahon is prepared." Many fans noticed a referee being hurt during a backstage brawl between Roman Reigns and World Heavyweight Champion Triple H on the wrestling part of, I would call it the main event. During at the start of the second hour, when Dolph Ziggler faced Triple H, when Triple H won the match. The referee was injured by a production case tossed by Triple H and needed stitches and sutures in his ankle, according to F4WOnline.com. Brie Bella revealed in her recent OK Magazine interview that she and her sister, Nikki, are expanding their empire with a woman empowerment gear line called Birdie B. It was specified, but it sounds like an apparel line, as the Bellas revealed a Birdie B t-shirt last November. Brie commented, we stand strong for women, and we want to be role models for women, so that's what we will go forth in. WWE had several kids from the Children's Hospital in Pittsburgh and their families to the Console Energy Center for a reception before Raw. The families got to hang out for Raw and meet wrestlers backstage. And I'll show you some photos with Becky Lynch and AJ Styles meeting a fan. It's been reported for weeks now how WWE has interest in current AAA star Garza Jr., who was related to former WCW star Hector Garza. Garza is at the Performance Center in Orlando for tryouts. Garza recently spoke with Clash of the Titans in Mexico and noted that he's 100% focused on AAA and his future there. He called the WWE rumors just that, rumors, and talked about staying with AAA to grow there. Garza even retweeted links to the interview, but he is getting a look from WWE this week. And here's a video of Chris Jericho on NBC's Hollywood Game Night. Hall of Famer Mick Foley recently spoke with Brian Fritz from Sporting News to promote his WrestleMania Dream raffle for rain. And you can read the full interview at this link. And get details on the raffle at the link as well. You can go to rainn.org/WrestleMania. And highlights from this interview. As Brian Fitz asked him, what was your reaction when you watched Raw a few weeks ago and the music hits and out comes Shane McMahon? Mick says, I had said from time to time it would be great to see Shane McMahon back, but I had no idea if that would ever happen. I knew Shane would get a good reaction. I didn't know how he would get that kind of reaction, but that was amazing. For the storylines, someone said, didn't they reveal that too quickly? Maybe they could have played it out a little bit. I think the interview between the McMahons is great. The idea of Shane O'Mac possibly doing something death-defying inside or on top of that sale is definitely there, and it's a great storyline. I don't know how they will proceed with it, but I think given their track record at WrestleMania the past few years, you have to give them some freedom to tell that story. Sporting News asked from Brian Fritz again, who also will post some of the photos of SmackDown spoilers this week. Are you going to be at WrestleMania, either as an observer or possibly as part of the show? Mick says, I'll definitely be at the show. I hear rumors that I'll be part of the show. not to lower anybody's expectation, but technically the only year I was part of the show was in 2011. I've been back for three manias, and last year I accompanied our winners to the show. In 2012, I did a thing with Santino and the guys with the deadliest catch. In 2013, I was inducted into the Hall of Fame, which is a pretty big deal to go out there and receive the acknowledgments from all those people. In 2014, I was part of the announce team, the pre and post announce team. I guess I'm playing a little role. Not exactly sure what it is, though. My guess. Special referee, possibly in the Shane McMahon versus Undertaker match. Brian asked him again, do you see yourself being more active with the WWE, even this year with you wrapping up your comedy shows in just a few days? Mick says, yeah, I've got just a few shows left with Indianapolis, my final one on Sunday night. I'm going to take at least the rest of 2016 off, and then we'll play it by ear. I'm not doing that with the intention of doing more with WWE, but it would be convenient if something opened up that we were both excited about doing. I have expressed interest in maybe playing a small role in creative for the women's division. I think they could use a seasoned veteran with a pretty good world view and a passion for what the women are doing. And I think the women would welcome it. Well, if his daughter Noelle gets a WWE deal, I'm pretty sure that they would sink in a double whammy. Hire them both. Okay, that was the end of his interview. Looks like another WWE superstar, other than Wade Barrett, is planning to leave the company soon. But no one has been announced yet. During the latest edition of the Brian and Vinny show, hosted by Brian Alvarez, said that Barrett is the not only talent to recently give notice of an upcoming exit to WWE, Barrett is reportedly set to leave the company after his current deal expires in June. But Alvarez did say another currently unnamed WWE talent gave notice to WWE last week that he will not be re-upping with the company. According to him, some people will be thrilled to know that this wrestler is leaving WWE. In addition, Dave Meltzer has reportedly weighed in on the subject. He hasn't heard confirmation of who the talent was, but he did rule out that it is not Dolph Ziggler. Ziggler already recently signed a multi-year deal with the company after his last contract expired. Ziggler's current contract still has some considerable time left on it. I think until June. Previously reported, Wade Barrett reportedly gave notice to WWE several weeks ago and will be leaving the company when his contract expires in the next few months, as he's been unhappy with his push as of late and wants out. Well, they just come back from an injury, and he wants to be put in a title picture? Nah, I don't think so. And that credit following credit goes to WrestlingInc.com. Women of Honor results. Mandy Leon, Sumi Siaki, and Jenny Rose defeated Kyoko Kimura, Taylor Hendricks, and Veda Scott. And for the taping for Ring of Honor, All Night Express defeated Dalton Castle and the Boys. Adam Page and Jonathan Gresham defeated B.J. Whitmer and Cedric Alexander. War Machine and Moose defeated the Briscoes and Cheeseburger. Episode number 2 that was taped. And there was only two episodes taped. Kushida retained the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship over ACH. Will Ferrero defeated Joey Daddygo by disqualification. Roderick Strong and Adam Cole defeated Red Dragon. The Addiction defeated Young Bucks. That one would be worth seeing. Jay Lethal retained the Ring of Honor Championship over Matt Seidel, formerly known as Evan Bourne. New Japan Cup's final took place over the weekend with Tetsuya Naito taking home the cup. Also, former WWE talent Camacho debuted alongside his brother Tama Tonga. So I guess he's probably gone from TNA as well. Jay White submitted to David Finlay. Juice and Thunder Liger and Juice Robinson defeated Tiger Mask and Captain New Japan. Evil and Bushi defeated Tomohiro Ishii and Yoshihashi. Evil pinned Ishii for a clean pin. NJPW Cup semifinals. Tetsuya Naito defeated Toru Yano. Another semifinal match. Hiroki Goto defeated Michael Elgin. Satoshi Kojima and Hiroshi Tenzan defeated Ryusuke Taguchi and Katsuyori Shibata. Also, other faction members. Baylor Club, Carl Anderson talked about joining the Baylor Club. Talks with WWE, Tensai, and NXT coach. And Okada and Sakuraba defeated Yuji Nagata and Manabu Nakanishi. Bullet Club member Tamatanga, Bad Luck Fail, and Takahashi defeated Hiroshi Tanahashi, Togi Makabe, and Tomoaki Hanma when Tonga used the gun stun to pin Hanma. After the match, Tonga brought out his brother, Micah Camacho. NJPW Cup Finals, Tetsuya Naito defeated Hiroki Goto. Nick Aldis, the former Magnus, spoke with Sports Illustrated for this interview highlights. Comments on the GFW status and why he left TNA. GFW is a startup, so I'm not under contract there. They're not in any position to be signing anyone to a contract. I want to dispel this idea that I left TNA in order to join GFW. I certainly don't want that to be the idea at TNA. I hate the idea that there's a notion floating around that there are sour grapes. I have nothing but gratitude for TNA, and I'm not backtracking from anything I've said, but I want to make that clear. The situation with TNA is this business-wise. At the time, TNA was not in a favorable period. They said to me, look, your contract is coming up. The offer we would be able to make you is an embarrassment and a slap in the face to your work and your value to the company. So I said, okay, then don't make me an offer. I'll venture out and see what happens. I've been under contract there for 6 years, and the majority of my adult life after signing with them at the age of 21, and there was never any, screw you, I'm out of here. They were very honest. It was emotional, and there was no desire for it to end on either end. Comments on the shoulder injury and recovery. It was a very successful surgery, and I've been cleared by doctors. I was fortunate. It's a rough idea, but knock on wood, it's the worst thing I've ever had in 10 years as a full-time wrestler. I've never really been sidelined by an injury until now. I'm pretty much ready to go back to full work and full booking. I'm in a limbo period in my career, being a free agent and unsure where to try and attempt to go next, and unaware of where may or may not be interested. It forces you to reflect. There was definitely a part of me that had fallen into a little bit of a comfort zone, but luckily I was the person to identify that before anyone else. I've been going to gymnastics coaches and working on jiu-jitsu to integrate that into my work and evolve. There is a lot of emphasis now on moves and the term work rate, and there is real emphasis on what I call selfish workers. Their whole MO is what can I do to make myself look good instead of what can we do to take the fans on this great story. I'm possibly working with Mickie James, his wife. We will make a pretty cool pairing at this point. We have great chemistry, and we can both talk, we can both work, and we have a deep respect and appreciation of what one another can do. We are open to it now, and it could be a really cool way to reinvent ourselves. Lucha Underground really interests me. Biggest problem with the business right now for the boys is that the remaining market share that doesn't belong to WWE is divided up so many companies. TNA used to have that market share, but now it's divided up by so many entities. Financially, it's not a great time to be a wrestler because it's the same portion of market share divided up by more entities. But Lucha Underground is so different that it could bring in new fans. I'm very much a free agent. I just started working with agent Bill Behrens, who has done great work with AJ Styles and Moose. I'm absolutely at a point where I'm refreshed and my passion is back. And it's time for me to explore more and reinvent myself. I'm going to be better than ever wherever I go. Bret Hart has a new interview. Spoke with, didn't any comments on Jesse Ventura wanting to start a wrestlers union in WWE back in the 1980s. I remember him back years ago when he was one of the first guys trying to get a union going in wrestling. He was making his arguments and talking about it in the car. I can remember going, this guy knows what he's talking about. I wish back then I think that was about the only time we could have gotten a union going in wrestling. I wish that Hogan had never stabbed him in the back and killed that. Ventura really was steamrolling a union for the first time, and it was a time when Vince was making nothing but money. Hogan was the key to everything. If Hogan had taken a stand and got a wrestlers union, we would have had a union. And talks about on who goes into the Hall of Fame. There's so many people that they haven't called for to be in there. If you're going to induct the Freebirds, and I have no objection to that, what about Demolition? What about the Hart Foundation? What about British Bulldogs? These were not just your average teams. These were some of the greatest tag teams that have ever stepped into a wrestling ring. I think there's a real lack of acknowledgement of their own superstars. It's all great that the Freebirds did what they did down in Texas and whatnot. They never made history in the WWE so much as the Bulldogs, Demolition, or the Hart Foundation. Then they go and induct the big boss man, which I am really glad for. I think it's long overdue. Rick Rude is another one that should be inducted. I think they should shy away from inducting different wrestlers because they died of drug problems. Maybe that's why they don't induct Davey Boy. The Nasty Boys aren't in there. The Bushwhackers are in there. How can you induct the Bushwhackers and not induct the British Bulldogs? It doesn't make any sense to me. No disrespect to the Bushwhackers. I'm sure they tell you the same thing. Bulldogs ought to be in there before them. Even the Hart Foundation, we really raised the bar with the tag team wrestling back in the 80s and 90s. How they go about voting people in, the decision made to induct the Freebirds, who did all their business mostly in Texas and a few other places. They never really did any great things with WWE. It is what it is. They should start recognizing these other people that really paved the way. The Bulldogs, Dynamite, and Davey. I think they above all belong in the Hall of Fame. Dynamite's in a wheelchair, and he's crippled and broken down more than any wrestler in the world. He's just a train wreck over in England. I think it would mean the world to him to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. I sort of watched it as they inducted these other guys, but they aren't more deserving than Dynamite Kid. And another interview with a Philly Voice by Christopher Daniels, speaking about his serious neck injury years ago and if he considered retirement. On if he thought about going to NXT after leaving TNA. I honestly didn't think that there was any interest from WWE. It was 2014 when I left TNA. I sort of assumed because I've spoken to so many of my friends who tried to get into NXT and they were told we're a little too old. And the people I'm talking about are younger than me. So I just basically assumed that it might be too late in the game for me to start with NXT. That might not be the case in being a trainer, but at that point, I didn't feel like I was ready to give up doing in-ring part of it. I felt like it was more of a natural fit for me to go to Ring of Honor, especially in the last couple of months, having a signed contract with them. I feel like it's just more of a fit for what I want to do right now. Being able to be in the ring and still wrestle, in addition to helping out behind the scenes and sort of helping shape the younger talent. I feel like that certainly is more in line with what I do. That was the opportunity that I wanted to take. Comments on his possible retirement. Neck injury was serious back in the day, but nothing that made me consider retirement. I never had concussions the way Brian has. Either he talked about Daniel Bryan. So I've been really fortunate in that respect. When I hurt my neck in 2001, it certainly set me back and made me think. But since that time, I've been very fortunate. I don't want to say I changed my style because I didn't really change it. But I was very much more of aware of the risk taking, and I feel like I've wrestled a smart style since then. Very rarely I have ever undertaken anything that I wasn't sure I'd be okay to do. And that's not to say that Brian didn't. But for me, I feel like a lot of it for him was that he was under such a heavy schedule that certainly contributed to him retiring as early as he did. Accidents do happen. And I know a couple of the concussions that he had, there's no defense for it. It just happens. As hard as we train, as hard as we try to be very safe, and especially those guys that are working at least 5 times a week, of course they're working safe and they're working smart. But I mean, just the law of averages, after a while it just sort of catches up on you. And I think that's what's happened with Brian. I've been very fortunate to sort of avoid that, and my schedule is certainly a lot lighter than his. I think that's one of the reasons I've been able to keep going up into I'm almost 46 years old now. So that's one of the reasons I feel like I've been kept healthy. Any comments on his bigger role in the Ring of Honor to get others to change their in-ring style? There hasn't been a situation that's arisen where I've had to tell guys to change their style. I feel like what I'm better at is just telling guys to be smart ahead of time and not reacting to the injury. If I feel like guys are being dangerous with themselves or with their opponent, I'll pull them aside and let them know that they are all in this for the long haul. So for the sake of one spot or one match, it's not worth it to potentially injure yourself or your opponent. That's just common sense. But sometimes you get so caught up, especially guys who are trying to make a name for themselves. They want to push that envelope and they want to be noticed and make the impact. You have to sort of pull them away from that edge and tell them it's not worth it. It's better to be long term than to make a short splash for whatever reason. There hasn't been anything so far in Ring of Honor where I've had to tell guys, this is going to hurt you. This is bad in the long run. As athletic and acrobatic as those guys are, I feel like they're still working within their limits that they set for themselves, and nobody's really going at it recklessly. And in this day and age, people are well aware of the dangers of that sort of stuff. And so that they're very cautious, even though it may not seem like it to the naked eye. It seems like they're out there risking their lives. They've got control that they're exerting over themselves. Well, TNA star Abyss recently took part on a Reddit AMA session last month, and here are the highlights. I'm just catching up on them. Abyss on turning down an offer to work against The Undertaker at WrestleMania. Yes, that's true. I ended up staying with TNA, and I'm so happy that I did. I have no regrets. I was an original member of TNA since the beginning, and I couldn't leave something I helped build from the ground up. Then he comments on if he regrets the dangerous hardcore matches he's worked in his career. Good question. And no, I don't. I don't regret anything I've ever done for TNA. I've always enjoyed working here. I don't regret them, and I'd do them all over again if I could. Any comments on giving back Hulk Hogan's Hall of Fame ring? I gave it back to him. I had it during the time we did the storylines, and afterwards, I just gave it back to him. WWE has announced former women's champion Jacqueline, a Texas native, for the 2016 Hall of Fame class. Jackie spoke with Fox Sports about the induction and what she's been up to, and here are the highlights from that. What was your first reaction when you heard from WWE that you've been inducted into Hall of Fame in your home state? Jackie says, I was overjoyed. It's a great honor. It's the highest honor to receive at WWE, and to be in my hometown, it means so much to me. And then she was asked, are there any current WWE divas on the roster who remind you of yourself? And Jackie says, I think Naomi and Sasha Banks are pretty tough women, but there's a lot of talent in WWE right now. Naomi kind of reminds me of me or Jazz. There's a lot of talented women. I think that's because of the trainers. Another question, what have you been up to now that your in-ring career has wound down? On the record, I'm not retired. I'm just not active right now. I keep busy. If push comes to shove, I can step in the ring right now. I might be rusty, but you don't forget. It's just in you. You don't forget it. You don't forget that. I'm keeping myself busy. I'm painting now. I do art paintings and drawings. That keeps me pretty busy. And you can go to this link for the full interview. This next news comes from Wrestling Observer. According to sources, WWE trying to put together a deal to get Snoop Dogg into this year's celebrity induction into the Hall of Fame. Rumor was mentioned that by Jim Ross in his blog this week as well. Regis Philbin was originally planned for the spot, but the company decided to switch gears and go with the rapper instead. Not officially confirmed yet, but we'll just have to wait and happen. In addition, former Good Morning America host Joan London is expected to be the recipient of this year's Warrior Award. While Warrior originally suggested that the award be given to people who work backstage for WWE for little notice, WWE has decided between last year's recipient, Conor McCallum, and their plans going forward to give the award to those who meant a lot to charitable causes, as London was very public about her battle with breast cancer in 2014 and has become an advocate for the fight against the disease. Well, referee Dan Engler needed stitches and sutures in his ankle after being hit with a production case thrown by World Heavyweight Champion Triple H during the backstage brawl with Roman Reigns from Raw. And you can go to this link. As they were medical attention was looking at the ankle as WWE posted the video along with the referee. Also, updated Tag Team Championship match is not officially handicapped. And now, officially handicapped. 4 versus 3, as all 3 new have belts. And there was a picture posted, but it was pulled from Instagram by my guest, WWE. It was pulled just like they did on Dolph Ziggler's Twitter account by his tweet from last week. TNA will be back at Universal Studios for more Impact Wrestling and Explosion taping for One Night Only pay-per-view this week, including an all knockout show as well. Probably a One Night Only again. As I said earlier, Drew Galloway cashed in his piece of fire to defeat Matt Hardy after their triple threat match from the live taping. Call it segment taping because it was delayed a little bit. The change almost didn't happen as Galloway noted on Twitter that he had travel issues coming from Germany to the United States. And Sheamus had some Sheamus and Alberto Del Rio both congratulated their good friend Galloway on winning the titles last night. At Galloway comments, Twitter explosion. Thank you for believing at the insane love. And the insane love. First traveling champ sets Flair Phase 1. Hashtag the lads. Galloway comments again. I didn't think I would make at Impact Wrestling with fights from Germany. I'm now world champion and will be the first traveling champ since Ric Flair. And here's the tweets from Sheamus. As he retweeted Galloway and says, congrats, my brother. No one deserves it more, fella. Viva Del Rio, that's Alberto Del Rio, retweeted as well. And you deserve it more than anybody else, compadre. So happy for you. Hashtag C for life. WWE has confirmed that Neville suffered an injury. We can go to the link and see it again. In his match against Chris Jericho in last night's from Raw in Pittsburgh, Dr. Chris Amen told WWE's website Neville sustained a left ankle injury on a baseball slide during his match with Chris Jericho. Initial x-rays reveal a fracture of the ankle. He will undergo further imaging, which they have confirmed, to determine the extent of the fracture and to determine if surgery will be necessary. It was noted on Wrestling Observer Radio that Neville reportedly suffered a broken ankle and broken shin bone and will likely miss WrestleMania 32. Sin Cara's all-black gear from Monday's Raw isn't a permanent look, as he was wearing black and yellow gear for last night's main event tapings. Jericho plays games of Frogger and Miss Pac-Man in these two links that I'll put up for you with Xaviar Woods, who now has 400,000 subscribers. So thanks. Congratulations, upupdowdown and Xaviar for those subscribers. Well, in return, how about you send me a few subscribers? I've heard of strong sales for WWE's Bootio cereal and a t-shirt for WWE Tag Team Champions The New Day. The box was released on Saturday night and during Roadblock. As I posted a picture on Roadblock and Monday Night Raw results. Just to clarify, the cereal box comes with a t-shirt inside. No cereal inside the box. Get it? Got it? Good. Live it. Quit complaining. So I actually wanted some cereal. As noted, Rock Central Intelligence comedy with Kevin Hart will be released this summer. Official trailer and pictures of it can be seen on Instagram.com/The Rock. So I think I'll have an actual post from the video later on. WWE superstar Titus O'Neil recently spoke with Rapzilla about not being bitter about his WWE suspension, his aspiration to become World Heavyweight Champion, and more. Here are the highlights. Wanting to win the WWE World Heavyweight Championship? Anytime you're labeled a champion, you're considered one of the best. I came here to be the best and compete with the best. On possibly evolving his character, probably changing it. I do have a past and a legitimate story to tell. If they wanted to tell it on TV to justify any situation, whether heel or babyface, I look forward to displaying those things more on a consistent basis. At the end of the day, I'm paid to entertain, but I also feel like I'm paid by God to be the greatest ambassador to Him that I can possibly be. Comments on not being bitter about his WWE suspension. When you think about it, WWE did not break the story. It got announced on Fox Sports News. Outlets that had nothing to do with wrestling took the story, and the fans responded. If I were a problematic person, or a cancer in the locker room, or a repeated jerk, I could definitely see the reasoning behind the length of the suspension. At the end of the day, it all stems from my actions. Whether it was not an active gesture or a jovial, playful situation, it was just deemed inappropriate. I just deal with it. Courtesy of The Rock, here's the trailer for the video. You can go to twitter.com/The Rock status on that. And the date is June 17th. Source of this next news is from the Wrestling Observer. Bray Wyatt is reportedly dealing with a significant back injury. Part of the reason why for Bray Wyatt versus Brock Lesnar was changed at Roadblock to Luke Harper and Wyatt, in which Wyatt just walked away in the match. As Lesnar wasn't due to the injury, Wyatt didn't tag in for the entire match. As of now, there's no word on how long he'll be out, even impossible at WrestleMania. Wyatt's last match was on March 8th, which was an eight-man match for the SmackDown. This next video is the latest episode of WWE's 5 Things with Kyle Edwards featuring 6 things and looks at stars who are undefeated at WrestleMania. If you didn't know, AJ Lee, undefeated. Shane McMahon, undefeated. Acts of Demolition, undefeated. The Road Warriors were undefeated. And RVD, undefeated at WrestleMania. You don't believe me? Go to the video. Like the link. No word yet on who will receive this year's Warrior Award at the WWE Hall of Fame ceremony. I already spoke about this, but I believe we got a little bit more news. The induction will not be Regis Philbin. Brie Bella and Alicia Fox are featured in this new Snickers commercial for WrestleMania 32. You can go on Twitter for that. And Alicia commented on her Twitter at Alicia Foxy. How at Bella Twins motivates me to get to the gym. Hashtag Brie mode. And then she also puts in the link. WWE.com/hungry4mania. Pause the video. Well, WWE World Heavyweight Champion Triple H needed 6 staples to close a wound on his head after the beatdown from Roman Reigns from Raw. He also needed to have shards of glass removed from his back. WWE posted this backstage video of the game being treated. You can go to that link. It also looks like WWE may have nixed Roman Reigns' crowd entrance. After using the regular entrance for his return on last night's Raw in Pittsburgh, Reigns came out the same way for the SmackDown tapings in Cincinnati. After posting some training footage a few months ago, Joe DeFranco of DeFranco's Gym is back with more training of footage featuring The Undertaker. And this time you can see how much he's lifting. Go to the video. Embedded the dead man is seen doing 500-pound barbell rack pull. But it's not a deadlift because the deadlift was off the floor. As well as a 40-inch high vertical jump. Undertaker continues to prepare for his in-ring return at WrestleMania 32, where he faces Shane McMahon in a Hell in a Cell match. He is also scheduled for the post-WrestleMania tour of Europe. Dark match before today, TV tapings in Cincinnati, Ohio, saw Jack Swagger defeat Tyler Breeze with the Patriot Lock. WWE's NXT, Greg Hamilton is ring announcing tonight's main event in his hometown, Hamilton. JoJo and Dasha Fuentes have also been announcing with the main roster since the weekend. Eden Styles indicated on Twitter that she had the weekend off. First results set thanks to Trip Givens for the main event. Spoilers from Cincinnati, Ohio. Lucha Dragons defeated the Ascension. Paige defeated Summer Rae. Lana was at ringside and laid Paige out after the match. Sami Zayn defeated Stardust in a long match that likely had it. They had it Roadblock, and that was the main event for that. Report number 2 by sent in by Sean Kenter. Jack Swagger defeated Tyler Breeze in a dark match. Early heat by Breeze rolling out of the ring. Brief exchange. More running around the ring. The crowd was surprisingly into Swagger since he is very pro babyface crowd usually. Swagger won with a basic match with a Swagger bomb at 3 minute 53 seconds in the match. First match, Lucha Dragons defeated the Ascension. The crowd was very into the Luchas. Callisto and Connor started their way out early to tag to Victor. Back and forth with Ascension tagging in. Sin Cara tagged in, reported a diving senton. But he was pulled harshly out of the ring. There was offense outside the ring by Victor, then double teamwork inside the ring. Sin Cara made a hot tag to Callisto, but before the Solida del Sol for the win at 9 minutes 18 seconds. Stardust cut a promo about Sami Zayn in his star room. Paige defeated Summer Rae. Early offense by Paige. Lana came out to her music and walked to ringside, where she distracted Paige. Summer was on offense until Paige made her comeback. Lana attempted a distraction and a roll-up, but Paige countered into a roll-up and got the pin at 4 minutes 8 seconds. After the match, Lana attacked Paige and hit her with a Rusev-like kick. Sami Zayn defeated Stardust. Sadly, there was little reaction for Sami. Stardust had a slightly louder reaction. Lots of chain wrestling into arm drags, fake dive spot, outside run into a moonsault spot from Raw, back and forth inside the ring. Sami performed a hell of a kick for the win. At 13 minutes 7 seconds, a decent match, but not much high flying from Zayn. Third report, Lucha Dragons defeated the Ascension in tag team action to kick off the show. Paige defeated Summer Rae in Divas action. It was the second match. It was taped. Lana was at ringside during the match after Paige got the win over Summer, and she laid Paige out. Sami Zayn defeated Stardust in the third of 3 matches taped for the SmackDown main event. This week's, not SmackDown, WWE's main event. Match was given a decent amount of time, similar to their match at Saturday's Roadblock special. First report for SmackDown, Trip Givens and Brad the Great. For the following combo SmackDown spoilers from tapings in Cincinnati. Reigns opened up SmackDown with an in-ring promo. More cheers and moves to start. Reigns talked about destroying Triple H on Raw and taking the World Heavyweight title at WrestleMania 32. Ziggler defeated The Miz in a good back-and-forth match. Backstage segment with AJ and Kevin Owens to set up their match later on. We get a promo on the big screen with Dean Ambrose out in the city. He gets a big hometown pop. Bubba Ray Dudley defeated Goldust. Devon joined in for the post-match beatdown until R-Truth made the save. Usos also got involved and cleared the ring. Michael Cole interviewed Callisto earlier in the day, and he accepted Ryback's challenge for WrestleMania 32. I think they actually did that sometime on Monday. The face-to-face starts off with Ric Flair and WWE Divas Champion Charlotte in the ring cutting promos. Charlotte brings Becky out first, and Becky guarantees that she will take the title. Sasha was out next, and a fight breaks out after some back-and-forth action. Sasha and Becky tried to team up on Charlotte, but Charlotte escaped. Tag Team Champions of the New Day come to the ring to cut promos on the League of Nations. They have accepted the challenge for WrestleMania 32, and it looks like everyone will be involved. Kofi Kingston and King defeated King Barrett. Both teams brawl at ringside, and the League gets the upper hand, but Barrett takes the loss. Dean Ambrose was shown at a bar celebrating St. Patrick's Day. Social Outcasts come to the ring and hold the show up until Ambrose arrives from his night of partying. Well, Shreveport is having their own party at the plaza down at the towards the River Walk, but it's not exactly at the River Walk. Same place where they have the other events. Festival Plaza is what they call it. Well, Ambrose destroys them all and clears the ring with a kendo stick. Ambrose cut a promo on Brock Lesnar's SmackDown return for next week in Boston, saying he will see him there. AJ Styles versus Intercontinental Champion Kevin Owens in a non-title match was next. Big pops were both in a great match. Styles did tease the Styles Clash at one point, but Jericho came out towards the end and that distracted Styles, allowing Owens to hit the pop-up powerbomb for the win. After the match, Jericho came in the ring and hit the codebreaker on Styles. Jericho talked trash to Styles as SmackDown ended. That's one report. Sean Kenners and Christopher Maffey combined for this report. Roman Reigns was out to all boos. Christopher noted that the boos were so loud that he couldn't even hear the promo, which received a lot of "what" chants. Meanwhile, Sean felt the crowd was split down the middle and noted that Reigns delivered a short promo. Not good, not his worst. The Chris Jericho recap video aired. Renee Young interviewed AJ Styles backstage. AJ said that the universe can chant whatever they want. As a CM Punk joke, chant started out. Owens walked in and had back and forth to set up their match. First match, Dolph Ziggler defeated The Miz as Ziggler won for the 4,000th time. Early chain wrestling and slow holds. This was the same match you've seen from so many times. Dolph won it with a super kick at 8 minutes 58 seconds. Recap of Ryback's challenging Kalisto from Raw was shown. Michael Cole conducted a brief sit-down interview, video that was already pre-taped, who was set to Ryback's challenge to the U.S. title at WrestleMania, and Ambrose video aired of him looking at his city skyline. Big pops from his hometown. Spoke about training to fight for your life. Cincinnati taught him everything. Big hometown promo. Bubba Ray with Devon in his corner defeated Goldust with nobody in his corner. As Devon teased using a table early pound offense by Bubba, who was so loud on trash talk, even up in higher seats. Back and forth offense with Bubba mostly on top. Bubba won with a cheap shot and pin at 3 minutes 17 seconds. R-Truth ran out to get knocked down. Usos ran out and double super kick to clear the ring. Charlotte was out first for their Diva segment. The crowd was wants to woo. Charlotte asked the challenger to come out. Becky Lynch was out first and said you can count on her to take the title. Shotzi comes out. Charlotte equated them to 4 horsewomen. To the 4 horsemen as the horsewomen. She teased an apology to them, then apologized to Ric Flair for ever comparing them to horsemen. Sasha and Becky broke down, but then double-teamed Charlotte. WWE will then they announced during a commercial break, probably, they will be returning to Cincinnati for a Raw on September 26th. New Day come out with trash bags, all talk about League of Nations hot garbage. Big E channeling old Hulk Hogan challenged them to a WrestleMania match. It seems to be a 4-on-3 match. Kofi Kingston defeated King Barrett. Good singles match with attempted interferences from both sides, which led to a brawl at ringside. The league's numbers advantage showed. Barrett was rolled up and pinned at 4 minutes 34 seconds. Ambrose was then shown at a local pub where he cut another promo about bringing Cincinnati with him to the street fight. I wonder if this will actually make air. A recap of the final segment on Raw aired. Social Outcast came out and cut a promo sitting on the ring apron, facing outwards. Interesting position. They pointed to the WrestleMania sign, then claimed that they will win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal as a team. They chattered back and forth until Ambrose comes out to the huge reaction. He had a kendo stick in hand and beat up all 4 men. Ambrose cut a promo saying Brock Lesnar will be on SmackDown next week, so will he. It was a brief promo to the point and with more hometown love. Kevin Owens defeated AJ Styles in a non-title match. Owens was out first to a decent pop. Styles was big, but half of what Ambrose got. AJ's pyro was loud. And in the next report, I'll show you a video of that. I think it was only 9 seconds, so that's all they showed of his entrance. Owens got a good heel heat, since he was a very pro-babyface crowd, usually. Solid match. Styles teased Styles Clash at one point, but Owens rolled away. Late in the match, Styles attempted spinning slam from a rack position for a 2 count. Owens attempted a top rope brainbuster that was countered. Styles set up for the phenomenal forearm, but Chris Jericho came out. Jericho distraction led to Owens hitting the pop-up powerbomb on Styles for the win at 9 minutes 24 seconds. After the match, Jericho gave AJ a card breaker, and then the Y2J taunted the AJ chant on the microphone. Owens came back to taunt, but Ambrose runs out with a cane to attack both heels and save AJ. This was likely a dark segment. AJ hit the phenomenal forearm on Jericho, and Ambrose performed dirty deeds on Owens to end the show. Since there was no report for dark matches, that's probably what happened. SmackDown was taped in Cincinnati, Ohio from the U.S. Bank Arena, featuring Intercontinental Champion Kevin Owens in action against AJ Styles in your main event. Roman Reigns comes out showing pictures of this one. He reportedly got a lot of boos. And what chance? Because his entrance was not through the crowd like normally, just like on Monday, came from the stage, as you will see in the pictures. Backstage, AJ Styles said that WWE Universe can chant whatever they want, despite what Chris Jericho tells them. Kevin Owens interrupts and they talk trash to set up their match later on. Dolph Ziggler defeated The Miz. Ziggler won with a super kick at 8 minutes 58 seconds. After what was described as back and forth action, Michael Cole conducted a short sit-down interview. Who was Seth Ryback's challenge for the U.S. title match at WrestleMania? Pre-taped video showed Dean Ambrose cutting a promo about his hometown. He spoke about training to fight for his life and how Cincinnati taught him everything. Again, showing you pictures. I promise. Bubba Ray with Devon defeated Goldust. Devon teased using a table early on. Bubba's trash talk to Goldust was so loud that people in the upper decks could hear it. Bubba got most of the offense and won with a cheap shot and a pin at 3 minutes 17 seconds. R-Truth and News has run out to save Goldust from a post-match beatdown. Charlotte came out and invited Becky Lynch and Sasha to the ring. They talked trash to each other until Becky and Sasha double-teamed Charlotte. WWE announces that they will return to Cincinnati September 26th for Raw. Live Raw event. New Day comes out, cuts a promo on the League of Nations. Big E challenges them to the 3-on-4 match at WrestleMania. Kofi Kingston defeated King Barrett. Both sides attempted to interfere during the match, which led to a brawl at ringside. Barrett was rolled up for the 3 count. 4 minutes 34 seconds. Dean Ambrose was shown at a local pub, cutting another promo about his street fight with Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. Showing you the picture. Social Outcast cut a promo about Andre Giant Memorial Battle Royal at WrestleMania 32. Eventually, Dean Ambrose interrupted to a big pop, so he's back from the bar. He laid them all out with a Singapore cane. Ambrose then cut a promo saying he's going to see Brock next week on SmackDown. Kevin Owens defeated AJ Styles. And here's his entrance, I promise you. Go to the video link. Described as a solid match with back and forth action, AJ attempted the Styles Clash at one point. Owens got out. Later in the match, Owens went for the top rope brainbuster. But AJ got out of that. AJ set up for the phenomenal forearm, but Chris Jericho came out for the distraction. It led to Owens hitting the pop-up powerbomb for the win in 9 minutes 24 seconds in the match. After the match, Jericho beat down AJ. Owens was about to join in when Ambrose comes out for the save. AJ hits a 5-arm on Jericho, and Ambrose hits the dirty deeds on Owens in the show. But the announcers from Raw were calling it the phenomenal forearm. And that concludes my spoilers for this week. See what I want to be. By the way, if you don't know, just call me brothers and sisters.